Hello again, my name's Gabe Zollner. I was chatting with a friend of mine about the Mormons in Utah and the spike in heroin use. And he's a devout Mormon. Both he and his wife have, I believe, 8 or 9 children, and they have around 36 or 38 grandchildren. And he made a comment to me, and he said that there's a high rate of suicide among the young Mormon men. And I went ahead and did a bit of Googling, and I found a study, which I'll attach the link. This was posted on March the 12th, 2016. And the study is titled, "Study Shows Link Between Teen Suicide and Mormon Populations." Earlier this week, the Rational Faith blog ran a fascinating and disturbing post from political science professor Benjamin Knoll analyzing in considerable detail the alleged link between Mormonism and teen suicide. Seems like there's nothing alleged about this. I mean, this is real. You've probably seen in the news over the past few months that in the wake of the LDS Church's policy changes regarding gay Mormons and same-sex marriage and their children, some in the LGBT community have noted a terrifying increase in the number of suicides and calls to suicide hotlines among LGBT Mormon youth and young adults. If you haven't seen anything on this, here's coverage in the Salt Lake Tribune and Huffington Post and the Desert News. These are links within this article, so you'll be able to go back and take a look at them and read the specifics. What's interesting again is that you've probably seen in the news over the last few months that in the wake of the LDS Church's policy changes regarding gay Mormons, I haven't seen, but I can assume that they're okay with that now. And I'll tell you, this brings me back to a conversation that I had with the same friend of mine who's a Mormon. This is a few years ago, when there was talk about gays being allowed to go into the Boy Scouts. And my Mormon friend said that would never happen. And I said it would. And I said the reason that it will happen is because of money. The church doesn't want to lose their tax-exempt status. So they're going to do whatever they need to do to make sure that they can continue to have that status. And that's what they did. At first they said, okay, we'll let little boys into the Boy Scouts. And then they said they're not going to let troop masters in. But then they went ahead and let troop masters in. And now they're letting girls into the Boy Scouts. How nuts is that? If you don't know this, the Mormon Church is or was the largest supporter of the Boy Scouts of America. It goes on to say, but these claims, however important, have never been based in primary anecdotal evidence, not social science research. Knoll's piece, Youth Suicide Rate and Mormon Religion Context, an additional empirical analysis, is based in data. Of particular note is that this research takes the conversation much wider than the low-hanging fruit of Utah to encompass suicide statistics in the entire United States from 2009 to 2014, something I haven't seen anyone do before when investigating these claims. He matches up suicide data state by state with Pew's research into the percentage of Mormons in each state. Here are several key points. There's a total of 5 of them. First one, youth in the 15 to 19 age group who live in states with heavy Mormon population are at higher risk for suicide. 2, this association did not exist in any statistical significance way in 2009. 3, it is impossible to tell from this data whether there is a link to LGBT teens. 4, we don't know the religion of the teens committing suicide. 5, this finding does not have anything to do with the LDS Church LGBT policy changes in November of 2015. Knowles concludes his summary by saying that the research, quote, is not intended to condemn. Rather, it is presented to contribute to the conversation on this important topic that literally has life and death implications. It is clear that there is a problem. The more information we have available to us, the sooner we can craft an effective solution. Good luck with that. Young Mormon men are trained at a very young age that they can't masturbate, they can't have sexual intercourse. They're trained on preparing themselves for a 2-year mission. They have to save their own money to be able to fund their own 2-year mission anywhere in the world. And what's the purpose of the mission? Well, the purpose of the mission is to get more followers, to continue tithing, to continue supporting the church. If you've watched me on this topic before, I've said I don't see a great difference, if any, between the Mormons and those that follow Muhammad. They're Islamics, Muslims. They're both cults. Joseph Smith twigged on the idea, let men have 5 wives. Who wouldn't want to have 5 wives? I wouldn't. I had 2 of them. That was too many. But the point is that a lot of men, especially back then, and even today, if they were honest, they'd love to have more than 1 wife, if for no other reason for the sexual pleasures provided. The Muslims do the same thing. They also give them multiple wives. And the Muslims took it to the next step. Well, they really didn't. With the Muslims, they believe that if you commit jihad, you'll go to paradise and have little pearls and rivers of flowing wine. The little pearls are little boys. And the Mormons believe that if they die, or when they die, they'll be on a planet, their own planet, and their entire family will follow. They're both cults. Tell me where I'm wrong. You can't, can you? Thanks for listening.